The following is a presentation of the Radio Misfits Podcast Network.
From the birthplace of modern winemaking, Sonoma, California, welcome to The Winemakers. Local experts Sam Couture, Bart Hansen, and Brian Casey invite you to listen in as they discuss all facets of winemaking. So sit back, pour yourself a glass, and let's hear what the guys have to say this week.
Hey everybody, welcome to The Winemakers.
We were recording that part?
That was Amy Fields and Sam Couture.
Shout out Nicolo.
Shout out
Cousin Nick,
Nicolo.
wherever you are.
Lyndon Smith here with us as well.
Did you pour something?
I did, but it was a silent but deadly pour.
Only for you.
There it is.
There we go.
You guys, welcome to Sonoma.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Kind of, how did this all come about? Do you guys? All right, yeah.
The hell of an intro, Brian.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
guess.
Botanist and Barrel is
Thank you.
the brand, correct?
Yeah.
And you're in town. You were at Pomme pop-up last night?
Yeah, we did a little pop-up over at Pomme.
Pomme Cider Shop.
Cider
Little
Shop.
takeover.
Yeah, okay, cool. And so start from the top. What do you do? Who are you? Why are you here?
Well, we're from North Carolina.
Okay. Oh, right. Shout out to friend of the pod, Amy Best Cook, who is actually the reason that
Yes.
this connection was made.
Oh,
That-
women-owned
cool.
wineries.
Okay, yeah.
One of our like, in sort of like proto winemakers podcast. One of our first guests, going back to
For real? Is that true?
Cool.
I mean, in the first couple of years, for sure. Right. With Katie from Katie Wilson from LaRue.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
Yeah, back in John's
That was
house.
up at John's house, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Bart's house.
and
No,
Amy owns
John's house.
women-owned wineries.
Women-owned wineries.
And the connection is because we live in Asheville, and she moved back to outside of Asheville.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. So shout out to Amy. Reason we're here. The other Amy.
Yeah, so we're based in Central NC.
Okay.
We started out just wanting to make air quotes real cider in
Air
the South.
quotes. Okay.
Hold on. So my
The
thing was
interrupting show. See.
my thing
Love
with
it.
cider when I first started putting it on menus or lists or whatever is that once you have like a cider from like Normandy or Brittany or whatever, the shit that they were making here in California,
Aces.
Oh,
right?
gosh,
And then
yeah.
the pear
Sold that for
cider was
years.
like 90% apple juice. Like nothing just seemed like it had honesty to it or purity or authenticness
And
or
transparency.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that kind of your experience with the ciders that you had?
Yeah, I mean, all the cider we loved to drink was, Bass style,
Yeah.
super high acid, and that just wasn't being made in the South.
Right.
And so we kind of stepped in to fill that void.
Yeah.
Amy and I have both been in wine. Amy her whole life, predating drinking age, and
Cheers.
for I came a little bit later on, and yeah, there's just no one making southern cider that represented the South with southern grown fruit. When you step back, North Carolina is the 7th largest apple growing state.
Okay.
So a lot of times people have this kind of
That's a
notion.
weird flex.
I mean, I'm not flexing at all.
The 7th largest.
No, my
Then you
point.
throw like Washington,
You know.
California.
California,
was.
New York,
New York.
Michigan.
New York, Michigan. Okay.
No, the
And they're all
the
making
point.
good quality cider in those areas, but in the South, we had other things that I.
Well,
not
and
mentioned.
raspberries and blue. Like my dad sent me a raspberry wine one time when he was living in Morganton.
Yeah, I mean, most of the time you think about what people drink in the South, and it's cloying, dripping, sweet.
Right.
Arnold Palmer's sweet tea kind of vibe.
Bold Rock.
Yeah.
What's Bold Rock?
They're based in North Carolina, in Virginia and North Carolina, but they're
Big
kind
cider
of-
producer.
Big cider producer.
Kind of like
Yeah.
an ace, but just
Sweet.
they're more regional. Like they are more regionally.
Third largest
sold.
in the country producer, but regional, which is cool.
Yeah.
No, the reason I say that is because there's kind of sometimes this notion that you can't grow apples in the South. That apples are a northern thing.
Because of humidity or something?
And apples need cold. Apples want cold for dormancy. Big part of it.
Yeah, chill hour.
Right.
Yeah. So just share that as a kind
I
of
just
like
mess
lead
with
in,
it,
you know.
So what part of North Carolina are they growing apples in? I'm imagining it's in the mountains. You know, obviously away
A lot
from
of our
the,
sites are, but it really spans the whole state. Lyndon is our farmer,
Okay.
and he manages 5 or 6 different
Air
sites.
quotes farmer.
Air quotes farmer. For air quotes cider. Okay.
Orchardist. So we have our estate, of course, which is a young apple farm in central North Carolina, because we're located in Cedar Grove, North Carolina, which is about 30 minutes from Durham, Chapel Hill area. And then we live in the western part of the state, where he manages the majority of our no spray apple orchards, which some are old orchards people have just given us like a lease on the land for $1, or we pay them in cider to take care of the land.
Because why? Where would the apples normally go if you guys weren't taking them?
Nowhere.
Ground.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. We put a call out maybe 6-7 years ago, and just said, hey, if anybody has apples in their backyard, you know, not just 1 or 2 trees, but something substantial, you know, reach out.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch of people reach out.
That's cool.
So when the sites are the right sites, higher elevation, not near another commercial site, you know, we come to these kind of agreements where we'll manage it, co-manage it, a bunch of different arrangements. And then that way we can grow apples the way we want, so we can make 0.0 ciders. So, you know, Amie talked about spray free, and our philosophy has shifted a little bit. And so now, I mean, we do spray compost tea, so it's like a little bit of a misnomer, but our whole vibe is nothing mined, nothing manufactured. So even like, you know, with organic farming, you can spray copper and all this kind of intensively mined manufactured stuff. So that's kind of where we lean in, is we're just trying to keep it all local. So anything we apply is from the site itself, essentially.
Right. And what are the best kind of apples to make cider with? Or does it matter? Do you guys even care? Are you like, hey, let's see what kind
I think the South has amazing apples. We get amazing ripeness, and I mean, our alcohol, typical alcohol in our cider is between 8 and 10. You just don't really see that as much up north, like the ripeness. And so...
And that's fully natural fermentation. So are you adding sugar to those? I know a lot of cider, you have to add sugar to get it to ferment.
No,
right?
no chapelizing or anything.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we do a lot of field blends. So I'm big on, you know, there was this movement in the cider community to do single varietals.
Yeah.
And while we do a couple,
we do Arkansas Black, and we've done Wine Sap, and
yeah, but I much prefer a field blend. So we're just picking whatever's, you know, apples are ripening over a much longer period of time than grapes are.
Okay.
And so we're just, you know, we kind of look at it as like early season, mid season, late season, and just kind of making field blends. So most of the ciders are, you know, 8 to 35 different varieties in it.
Wow.
It's a lot of it's site specific, because some of these sites, you know, they're old abandoned homesteads. So you had apples that were going for sauce, and some for baking, and some for dehydrating, and then some for cider. And when you're doing all of that in cider production, you just get this huge kind of diversity of apple varieties. I mean, people ask me all the time, how many varieties do you grow? I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
Lots
a couple
of,
hundred.
like, heirlooms and forgotten things to history,
I mean,
right?
there's more varieties of apples, so many more than grape varieties, which is crazy because there's so many grape varieties, and that's what I grew up studying. And then when I started learning about apples, I was like, well, that's cool. You'll never know that you can make your own new variety anytime, you know.
Well, I know some industries like that in California. Let's talk about what's in our glass, and then I want to know your wine history, Amie. How you drinking wine? You know, sounds like there's some similarities. So, what's in our glass right now?
Yeah, this is kind of, if we had like a flagship. We're a very like fun experimental cidery. We just love to play. So, but if you say we had a flagship, this would be it. It's kind of our philosophy. It's called Less is More. Nothing in, nothing out. This is our first pet-nat cider we ever made, and pet-nat natural cider. So bottled in primary fermentation with a certain gravity, and then that natural sugar that's left in primary turns into the bubbles in secondary fermentation in the bottle. And really our method with this is actually coming from Virginia. It's an orchard that's close to both our families separately, strangely enough. I have ties to this family. It's called Morris Orchard in Virginia, about a couple hours from our cidery near Lynchburg, Virginia kind of area. And this is always 1/3 cider apple and 2/3 eating apple. Mm-hmm. So the eating apples are the apples you find in the grocery store and that are common. And then the cider apples are like the Pomme Gris and the Harrison and the Arkansas Black and things like that. So it's always a field blend of 1/3 cider and 2/3 eating apples in this cider.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So you grew up in wine? Or came up into wine?
I came up into wine.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like a foodie, hospitality management in college, and I was like, oh, I want to go to culinary school, and my mom was like, how about you go to work? So I tried to get a job in the wine business.
And where is this?
This was in North Carolina. I went to school at East Carolina, and then I moved to Raleigh. And I think at 21, I did land a wine rep job at a small import distributor with a woman owner. It was called Grape Expectations. And I came up really quickly. I was like probably one of the youngest national sales managers. I was like literally 22, 23, and I had 15 states, and I was traveling all over the country and selling amazing French and Spanish wines, and from this really small esoteric book ran by a woman who, was getting her master somm. She was a great, teacher for me to learn from, and she provided like the opportunity for me to travel all over the world. And I was bringing in my own imports, traveling to Spain, at 25 or so, just like picking out what we wanted to sell in the U.S. And cool. It was a good time in my 20s.
Did you go into that job with wine knowledge, or did you just kind of like pick it up on the fly?
Yeah, I mean, I loved food and wine, and I loved pairing wines, but yeah, I just learned from selling those esoteric wines and getting to travel to those different places. And then, yeah. And I sold wine, so I did kind of import distribution for about 20 years now. But met my husband at a wine shop.
So you're the barrel, he's the botanist in this situation? Okay.
He tried to hire me, and I told him he couldn't afford me. So
still can't.
So he did the way more expensive thing and married you.
Yes, yeah. Still figuring out that part.
So yeah, he was he started Asheville's first natural wine distribution company about 15 years ago. And so that was actually his first foray into wine, was running a distributor with a friend of his that really was the wine guy, and he was more of he's my husband has always just kind of worked for himself, and so he's never, besides being a pool boy, he's never really worked for anyone.
But is that for you or professionally?
I keep trying to. We don't have a pool. He's my hot tub boy.
I'm trying to figure out if this is code for something that I don't even know about.
So he's been a serial entrepreneur, I guess, his whole life, and so he's really good at making something into nothing and from nothing, and building small businesses. Yeah.
I was so green. I knew nothing about wine when I came into wine. I think I started this distribution company with a friend, and I think maybe I had purchased 9 bottles of wine in my life at the time. So just totally stupid, right? I mean, how dumb? More dumb could I have been? More naive. Looking back, it's just absurd.
And to have did maybe the most difficult niche of the wine business to start from scratch in the natural wine distributor.
Yeah. I had no idea what I was doing.
How did your friend sell you on this?
It was a strange time in my life, and I needed distraction. And he just really wanted to go out on his own. He was, working for a bigger distributor, and was like, "Hey, you want to do this thing with me?" And I was sure.
So they started with a Ford Taurus station wagon and a
Like all
pallet
good
of wine.
stories.
Yeah. Yeah, we literally drove to Virginia to pick up the first, half pallet of wine in a Ford Taurus station wagon. It was great.
And where was the wine from? Was it from California or was it?
That Wine
It was
Traditions?
the first person we ever worked with was shout out to Ed and Barbara, Wine Traditions, out of
importer in Virginia, and
Central Virginia.
Northern Virginia. Yeah.
So you're getting mostly like French and in that first half a pallet in that station.
Yeah,
wagon?
it was all European stuff to start, and we eventually did work a little bit with some California producers like Donkey and Goat and Scribe and stuff like that. But in the beginning, it was French, Spanish, Italian. Like the De Grazia book, Savio, Jenny and Francois, that kind of stuff.
And what was, as ye of 9 bottles purchased, what was your role in the beginning of this distributor of this business?
Logistics.
My job was
you had the station wagon.
Yes, I had the station wagon. My job was making all the numbers back of house,
Taxes, compliance, payroll. He's
all those beautiful
all those
excise tax
wonderful
reports.
things.
Yeah, oh yeah.
The sexy side of the
part that
business,
everybody
right?
wants.
Yeah,
There's
everybody
an entire
loves that
podcast
shit.
dedicated to it.
all the worst parts.
All the worst parts.
But then I fell in love. I had no idea. I had a bottle of wine at some basement restaurant in New York one night, and I was like, "What the is this?" And have kind of had the.
Do you remember what it was?
I do. It was Pomme from Lochteven.
Okay.
And it had that movie theater popcorn, and it like triggered something in my mind that was just very just nostalgic, and I've been a lifer ever since. Now I equate every time I taste something, I immediately think, okay, what kind of I take it to like candy or childhood memories, because then if I know if it touches something there, then I know I'm gonna like it. If it doesn't, I'm probably gonna be bored.
All right, what should we open next? Brian?
Let's do question the convention. Yeah.
The convention.
So we make piquette, we make ciderkin. So why not just throw them all together?
So wait a minute. You went from, because with you were selling wine, but then how do you get into the whole scientific background part of actually? Because doing pet-nats and piquettes, and you got is this DIY YouTube video shit going on, or are you like
from that experience of like knowing all these amazing French wine producers and picking their brains and how did you make this and how writing down all the details over the years of the past 15 years, and we had friends to call right, and be like, all right, so we're doing this, do you got any tips for me? Lumos Dye gave us some tips, and different people if we had a question. But when you're making natural wine, you only have so much science to play with there. So it is what it is, and you just you figure it out as you go along. So
to follow up on that, if the heart of your question is did our first couple vintages suck? Yeah.
Or no, I just feel like we missed a part from like you guys selling wine to all of a sudden like, okay, wait a minute, now you're making stuff. So like in between there, it's like, where do you get the spot and the equipment? And
I'm gonna go really quick with this story because it's boring. So I'm just gonna speed talk.
All right.
Many good businesses,
Maybe
right, are
harmful to small children.
many businesses, you solve a problem. So we bought this defunct blueberry farm, and we were harvesting, and it has this crazy thing called exobasidium. It's like rubbery, leathery.
And take your time. This isn't boring, actually.
Okay,
this is
maybe I'll slow down.
This is the kind of shit we love talking about.
Okay, so we had this thing. It's like a fungal growth on the skin of a blueberry. It's totally benign, doesn't change the flavor, but it's gross in the mouth.
And you can see it?
You can see it, and
white.
you can taste it. Not taste it, but
Like
texturally.
Okay.
It's there.
it's like a bump.
And so we're sorting all these blueberries out, and we're like, well, what do we do with okay, so you juice them. And then me being me, I was like, let's make blueberry wine like Beaujolais. And then she was like, this is a horrible idea. Let's make cider like Bastille cider because we can't even find that locally made here, period. And so out of this problem
I said, let's make a living.
Yeah, well, that too. But out of this kind of weird solving a problem of what do you do with ugly fruit, kind of translated into Botanist and Barrel. And I mean, it's a little bit of a jump. And yeah, we just kind of learned on the fly. My sister and brother-in-law, who are partners in this whole crazy endeavor with us, were chefs for 20 years. So they have some strong food science, backgrounds. I had been messing around fermenting stuff, for many years prior, just, hobby basement style. So we didn't come in it totally blind. But yeah, none of us had any classical training, had never, gone and worked harvests in Europe or anything
Cornell
like that.
Cider school, so she's our cider maker.
Little extension class.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Learn some science about what
cider
not
school
to do.
at Cornell.
Yeah.
Cornell's big in wine and agriculture and
Because of
New York. I mean, it's the place where anybody who's growing things out in like Long Island, Finger Lakes, North Fork.
I didn't know that.
All that it's the Davis of the East in its kind of way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they're the ones that have come out with all the cool rootstock for apples that have disease resistance and all that stuff. So
Cornell's that's a thing?
Cornell's bad. Oh yeah, Cornell's badass when it comes to
and
apple.
hybrids,
Right.
grapes,
Hybrid,
and,
all those, a bunch of those hybrid grapes come out of Cornell.
Which actually we're about to drink some hybrid grapes here.
That's what's in this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about. First of all, I want to read this on the back because we've had a long-running feud with the seltzer world here on this show. People have been making seltzer for thousands of years, but it went by different names. We present a blend of two. The original seltzer styles here, the blend of the two original seltzer styles here, Piquette and Ciderkin. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Ciderkin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, yeah, what the hell's going on in this can?
I like to call this my spritzy orange wine.
It's so fucking
I know,
delicious.
it's great.
Oh, thank you.
Got this like honeysuckle thing, and yeah,
I love this. Yeah.
this is Brian's gonna need a case. hopefully he doesn't have to wait for you to ship it out. Hopefully you have some to leave.
I need
before
this
you
in
eat.
my life.
Yeah, so it's just a half Tromonette Piquette, Tromonette's hybrid grape, kind of a cousin to Gewürztraminer, so very floral, pretty, rose petals.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah. And so, yeah, you get that kind of, sometimes it can be kind of soapy, so you got to be careful. I actually really like blending it with the ciders. So the cider can is just basically apple pomace. We rehydrate as well and ferment. And then...
So it's Piquette of cider.
Mm-hmm, it's the Piquette of cider, yeah.
Ciderkin.
I was
Cider
like,
can.
why? It makes sense to me to just put them together. Just call it a day. So, but no one that I know of has really ever done that. Sometimes people will blend cider into a wine Piquette.
Right.
Or...
Right.
Or use apple juice as the fermenting element in a Piquette, right? You can put some sugar in there with that.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we make a lot of cider cans, so we do other things with just cider can, and we make a lot of Piquette. And this is just kind of our fun little in-betweener going with everything that we do, kind of.
This is no sugar added.
This is no sugar added.
Yeah, this is just skin. So we press everything through old school, pneumatic plate down basket press, and so it's rather inefficient.
Right.
And so when we're done, we oftentimes will bulk freeze grape skins, apple pomace, and so it makes a lot of sense for us to make ciderkin and Piquette because there's still 20% of the life,
right.
in that pomace. So we started making ciderkin and finding ways to balance it so that a lot of the ciderkins are thin or just strange, rubbery,
right.
have a lot of off flavors and unpleasant characters. But we also make we call it just the Botanist spritz. So we take ciderkin and then we kind of aromatize it into
Like
a vermouth
spritz.
Oh.
And
Wait,
it's one of my
what?
favorite things.
It's my fave.
Yeah.
I love it.
Wait.
It's like-
How do you do this?
Yeah, like we make ciderkin is the base, let it age for a little bit, and then
And then, like you were making a vermouth, we'll add wormwood and
grapefruit
cinnamon,
peel,
different
aromatics.
cardamom.
Yeah, same way you'd make like a white or red vermouth, for like Spanish style for sipping, and then we spritz it up. So it's like we've already added the club soda to the vermouth for the vermouth spritz,
Right.
And it's canned.
and just can it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I love it.
It's called the Botanist.
Do you have to
spritz.
explain all this shit to people? Like, just putting this stuff on a shelf. Like, because here, piquette is, I think probably 5 years ago, Casey Graybell, I think, was.
Yeah, everybody
the
had.
only
There
one
was sort of a piquette. The pandemic and piquette sort of happened at the same time, I think. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, there was a moment where piquette was showing up everywhere for sure.
There's that guy we
A lot of bad.
from Wild Ark Farm, Todd Cavallo, we had on the show. He was doing
Oh,
a bunch
yeah,
of
Todd.
we did
Todd's
a bunch
great.
of piquette.
Yeah.
I
He's
just
the OG piquette guy. Yeah.
I just got bottles from Todd 3 days ago.
That's how this all works. I love that.
Oh my god. His Aragnac, Lyndon's obsessed
The
with.
Arac?
I'm like, Arac, yeah.
Oh, like
What is that?
He's making liquor now.
yeah. So it's a
Oh.
spirit that you infuse with. What is he
Is it
using?
cardamom or is it?
It ends up very like licorice-y, like the
Anise?
Greek have cipro. I think
Right.
I'm saying that right.
Ciparos with cardamom, right?
No, that's with star anise and was it fennel? I don't know. Bronze fennel would have the same kind
Okay.
of like aromatic profile.
We're out of our league, Brian.
But I love spirits that are done. Coriander is what's
Coriander
in
is
Cipro.
That's in
Coriander
Cipro, yeah.
and fennel, and I love when it's or coriander and star anise, and I love it when it's just the coriander.
Right.
It's my favorite liquor infusion. Period.
I would describe it as like the top shelf ouzo. Like
but not thick.
And Todd started making one, so I buy it from him because I
Can he-
freaking love it.
I know shipping spirits out of New York could be tricky. Is he able to ship that other places, Todd? If we're getting you in trouble,
I don't know.
I don't really know how it
okay.
shows up.
That just in the back of falls off the back of a truck
yeah,
as it drives through
olive
Asheville.
oil.
ends up.
It's olive oil.
So-
Hit a bump. Oh, there's 3 bottles on
yeah,
my
I
shelf.
mean, he
Weird.
ships us olive oil. Yeah,
Go see Todd in New York if you want to try this. Don't get us in trouble.
and I feel Todd. I feel like what Wild Ark does is really. I feel very akin to them because they're playing with Concord.
Right.
They're playing with grapes that are super foxy and that maybe traditionally have kind of been looked down on from more traditional wine communities.
Right.
And that's the space that we live in oftentimes. So I have a lot of love for what Todd and Wild Ark
Cider's
does.
always the ugly redhead stepchild, and I love a redhead.
Yeah, and muscadine too. What we'll get to.
So yeah, there's Todd's Concord.
Okay.
In our,
Muscadine State of Mind. So is that are we skipping ahead? The Instagram handle Muscadine State of Mind is you?
Yeah, that's us.
That's
too,
you.
yeah.
Also, along with Botanist and Barrel.
Yeah, and we also have a Defy. So 4 years into cider making, we decided we were going to try to make low intervention wine in North Carolina. And all of our homies down there were like, okay. So we ended up calling it Defy.
Defy.
Lyndon is French, and so he's got like a French background. So like, yeah, defy the odds making natural wine in North Carolina.
Or just the defiance of the French in general.
That too.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we separated out because people were when we made the first vintage of wine, grape derived wine, people assumed it was going to be cider.
Right.
And there was some kind of confusion. So we ended up coming up with, or wanting to make a separate brand that kind of represented that track, that line of product.
And it was, what type of grapes are you using for the wine?
So it changes. So, we don't grow any grapes. I mean, I've just planted the first 2 varieties on our property. So we're always kind of dependent upon what's available.
Right.
And so we work with a couple different, I think we work with 6 different vineyards now. And we can get some Italian
hybrids,
varieties, some hybrids, muscadine.
So
for sure.
Trominette, Chamberson. We've made Cynthiana, though I think we're done with that one.
Vidal Blanc. But we can get our hands on Tempranillo, Sangiovese, Mourvèdre, Tempranillo.
Cap Franc Rosé. pet-nat. But mostly
we have
pet-nats.
access to
We
some
mostly
stuff.
make pet-nat wines.
Yeah.
Bringing, I mean, are there those grapes growing in North Carolina? Are you bringing? I
Yeah.
know there's Virginia's got a ton of that. Are you bringing any stuff out of Virginia too, or?
The Vito Blanc, we work with one vineyard from Virginia that's an hour from our winery.
And the rest is NC
Cool.
in Yadkin Valley or further up in the mountains. There's a new AVA called Crest of the Blue Ridge Mountains.
Oh.
I don't think they could have come up with a longer name.
Yeah, it fits on the label real nice.
Yeah, I'm just like, what is that? I think it actually has to say Henderson County too.
Of course,
after it.
yeah. We are well familiar with conjunctive labeling and how much we love saying Sonoma Valley, Sonoma County, Sonoma Valley, Sonoma County, Sonoma Valley, Sonoma County, as if there was another Sonoma Valley that you had to. It could be the Sonoma Valley of Napa County, but you have to be clear. Thank you, TTV.
Yeah, but we're seeing some decent grapes, coming along in North Carolina. It's doesn't have quite the the history as the West Coast here, but it's happening.
But the only thing certified organic is muscadine, like that we work with. So
They're growing certified organic muscadine in North Carolina.
yeah.
I mean, I guess is other than maybe some of its worse reputations. I don't know a ton about muscadine. Is it naturally resistant to
Grows like a weed.
the problems of growing grapes in the
grows
eastern seaboard?
native.
everywhere.
It's native.
Yeah,
So there's no
Yeah.
downy mildew. There's, which is how you can grow it.
No,
organically.
you'll just if you're walking to the beach in North or South Carolina, and you're kind of in that marshy
No, there's
area, you'll see
muscadine.
muscadines growing up trees like all over the place.
So it likes that wet
Sands, yeah,
sandy.
it's just
feet, humid.
pretty tolerant. And then there's some folks that have made cold hardy varieties or have found cold hardy varieties as they spread. So there's muscadines that are specifically grown for winemaking.
Okay.
And then there are table muscadines. We actually prefer to make wine with the table muscadines.
How come?
Fruitier,
More subtle.
yeah, fruitier, brighter. Not so. Muscadine is so. I
Punchy.
use the word
Grapey.
unapologetic.
Right.
They're just unapologetic. They don't give a shit. They just are a muscadine. And so if you can find a way to, soften those edges,
Make them show terroir.
yeah, it's a little more presentable.
Interesting.
Yeah, we were told once that muscadines cannot show terroir. Period.
By another Frenchman.
Yeah,
Just because of the like fruit
it's
flavors.
because it's so foxy
Foxy.
that you can't.
Will you explain what a foxy flavor is to those of us who might not? I mean, I've heard the term, haven't tasted very many foxy wines.
We're gonna taste
Okay,
one.
So it's time to open it.
I want to know what you describe.
Yeah, I think you
like-
should describe Foxy.
Yeah.
I think, or what you think Foxy tastes like.
Doesn't sound foxy.
We're bringing it back.
Ooh, purdy. It's purdy.
Well, these are great. These are the grape muscadine.
And this is muscadine, but this is muscadine piquette, right? Yes and no.
Yes and no.
Yes
So
and
this
no.
it is the entire muscadine and all of its original juice,
Okay.
and then we have just added some of the well water from our farm to get a lower ABV and to just soften it out a little bit. So
Okay.
we label it as a piquette because it has that water addition.
Right.
And this is the only product we ever, other than when we're making cider can or piquette, that we ever add water to. But in this particular application for a can, we feel like it makes a better crushable, like I call it lawn mowing wine. Like, how do you describe that?
Okay, this to me is like, this is a childhood thing. It's like, it's not Kool-Aid. It borders on Kool-Aid, but it's my friend growing up was Colombian. They would make jugo, and they had like a syrup that they would add to water.
Purple drink.
Yeah, like the.
It was
like
kind
the-
of like that, but it
the
was
Jamaica.
like, it was, I don't know, it wasn't like from America. It was just like this, weird syrup that you would put in and you made
Okay.
jugo. And it has that same smell to it.
So the smell for me is masa.
Oh, interesting.
like massarina, the cornmeal
Yeah.
that you'd make tamales and corn tortillas out of. But like when it's like fresh and you're making it into tamales.
Never heard that. That's a first.
Yeah.
Well, I grew up in California. I'm seeing now some of that like purple, that like Hugo kind of
Purple drink.
kind of. But that was my first instinct was
Water. What do they say? Water, sugar, color.
water sugar color.
Water, sugar, color.
I mean, Concord's the closest
Right.
in
Definitely
terms
has
of that.
foxiness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe foxy in some
No.
translatable way. Like when we typically describe wines, we're like, oh, this has notes of cherry and tobacco. And, people ask, what does muscadine taste like? Muscadine tastes like muscadine. There's no lateral
But the
for me.
color's coming from.
The muscadine, right?
So
Yeah.
I'm thinking muscadine's white. It's red.
So there's
There-
orange, red, white. This is Carlos Noble and
Yeah.
Magnolia.
Yeah. So this is a bronze, a purple, and a yellow.
Okay,
green
so muscadine is essentially like Vitis muscadine.
Muscadinea, yeah.
Muscadinea, and within that, like Vitis vinifera, there are many different varieties and color expressions and places that it grows well and not grows well.
Yeah.
Soil types, the whole thing.
For sure.
Okay.
And why is it all there? Was it all
all
table
native.
grapes? But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Was it table grapes though? People were just eating them all.
Yeah, people have traditionally made muscadine juice, muscadine jam, jelly, and historically muscadine's had a really bad rap because it's always been capitalized. So it's always been super sweet to kind of cater to, what people think Southerners drink, sweet stuff,
Duplicate.
which is oftentimes very true.
But it has a ton of resveratrol.
Resveratrol.
Yes.
Oh,
that's
so it's
the
good
word.
for you.
Yeah, so some of the
That's right.
muscadine's actually
It's the-
grown for pharmaceutical because it's so high
Anti-inflammatory,
Yeah.
and some of
antioxidant,
those properties that.
cancer prevention.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers! Cheers to our daily dose.
These views do not represent something. Save our ass, cover our ass. We are not medical experts.
Dietary fiber.
Drink more muscadine.
I totally now that after you said that, now I'm smelling it. That's all I smell now. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of. It's as it opens, it's sort of fading a little bit for me, and a little more. It's foxiness, a little like the aromatic of a omnivorous animal. Right? That's what is foxy. A fox is something that eats fucking voles and grapes. So it's got a little bit of. There's like a little meatiness. There's a little just like gamey isn't the right word, but just sort of
Wild.
like feral.
Musky.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little musky for sure.
Yeah,
Muscadine.
absolutely.
It's not complicated. I figured that out. It's right there in front of us the whole time.
Muscadine.
I oftentimes don't even feel like I'm drinking wine when I drink muscadine because it is just so.
Ephemeral and
Yeah.
something childlike.
Totally. Yeah.
And the way we make it is like biting into a fresh muscadine, which is like, I think how I like to say how we make anything. If we're making a strawberry cider, it's like, oh, you just are biting, the strawberry. Maybe you get some of the green
Strawberry
top,
cider?
But
It
it should
didn't
be
bring
like
enough
biting into
with
fresh
them of
fruit.
things, clearly, Brian.
Just I'm like, why do you need to put sugar on your fruit?
Wait, how many different things do you guys make?
All right, this is 9th vintage, and we've done over 500.
Just different SKUs.
Yeah, we have a problem. We
Yeah.
have a real problem.
Your sales software is a fucking clusterfuck.
It's a clusterfuck.
Because I know what that's like. Brian, you know what that's like.
We have trimmed
Wow.
down. So we used to do about 100 a year.
I think we still
and-
are.
Well, no, it's like 50,
No, it's not that low, honey.
65,
It's like
79,
90. It's like 85. 90.
15 less.
That's a huge cut for us.
Really it's holding back. But these are all like tiny SKUs of things that are going direct, and you're constant because of the piquette and freezing things. You're sort of like in constant production.
Yeah, and a lot of things just go to our club or
We do produce year round.
Just the retail or
Right.
to retail.
Yeah. I mean, we have what are called harvest driven ciders, so done in season, and we definitely don't
Like
freeze
the less
grape
is
juice.
more,
Right.
pet-nat.
But we can and do freeze apple juice sometimes. Like we're doing that this year, and apples have a lot longer shelf life. It's one of the reasons cider is one of the more sustainable adult beverages one could participate in, is because they do have this kind of like longer shelf life. So we can press juice
Year
right
round.
now,
Right.
even though
With
it was
apples that are
picked.
stored.
Yeah, even though it was picked in November. It's not our preference.
And typically, when
But-
we're using out of season juice, we're making a co-ferment of some
Yeah.
sort.
Okay.
So it's fruited.
Right.
Yeah, so
things.
we freeze. We work with 50 different farms in North Carolina every year, and we forage a decent amount too. So we're foraging and pureeing and freezing pawpaws. We're doing this with serviceberry. We do this with our own blueberries, raspberry, blackberry, prickly pear, cactus. You name it. If we can fuck with it, we're gonna try at least once.
Right.
Or maybe a couple of times and see if we can't really figure out how to work with it and make it be really expressive, and just kind of hone in. And then sometimes we don't like working with certain fruits, so we don't anymore.
Right. Well, you go back to pawpaw a little bit, because that's another indigenous
Native fruit,
to
yeah.
North America, right?
Yeah, this is North America's largest native fruit. So it's kind of like, the way I describe it is if a mango and a banana had a baby.
Okay.
And the reason it's delicious, but the reason it's not commercially viable is because you have to wait for the fruit to literally drop. And it bruises easily, and if you don't wait, it's like doing native persimmon. It's bitter, it's astringent.
Yeah.
It's not good, and it's also
The seeds
this-
are like toxic.
yeah. So you have to remove the seeds, you have to remove the skin. So it's a real pain in the ass to work with, but it makes really beautiful co-ferments.
And you have to do that all by hand.
We
Or is there-
we
are there-
learned this
We used
trick.
to.
There's a way now.
No, we learned this trick from, who did we learn this? Was it Barry at Kent Falls Brewing,
You
or
figured it out.
I learned it from somebody? No, it was Wooden Robot in Charlotte.
Dan Wade.
They were
Dan Wade.
yeah, they were producing, or they used an Italian tomato strainer, like how you remove the skins from a tomato
like a
for
food
sauce.
mill, basically.
Yeah,
I think
but this
I have
one's
a
got a
pawpaw in the
one
car, actually.
1 horsepower motor on
You
it.
have a pawpaw in the car?
I think so. You want me to go
You
grab
should
it?
get it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You flew here with it?
I think she means a cider.
A cider. Pawpaw.
Yeah.
Not
I'm
pawpaw
pretty sure
season.
they wouldn't let you into California with a pawpaw.
Not pawpaw season right now. So yeah, we run it through this Italian tomato strainer
Okay.
that takes the seeds and the skins off
Right.
for us, and then we freeze that. And a lot of those things that we're freezing, we're going to co-ferment later when we're using the kind of out of season juice,
Right.
because that juice needs more help. We do so much co-fermentation because apple juice on its own, there's only one acid in apple. It's just
Right.
malic.
Right.
Like grapes and even elderberries and lots of other fruits have just better natural chemistry, more sugar, more acid. So apples, sometimes they just need a little bit of help. So if we're going to do low intervention, we're not going to pitch yeast, we're not going to chapelize, we're not going to do all these things. We need to add acid, tannin. So we're using this secondary fruit as kind of the balancing agent.
Interesting.
This is kind of at least the lens that we think about winemaking, cider making through.
What else do you guys do? Like, do you have free time? Do you like?
I mean, I hang out with my kids,
No, it just seems like you got a lot going on.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
and it's year round.
yeah, we've got an awesome crew though. I mean, it's not just
How big
the
are
four
you
of
guys?
us.
Like, what is?
There, I believe there's 13 or 14 of us right now.
Oh, wow.
But we have that's on sale, or we have 2 locations where you can come visit. So we have one in downtown
and
Asheville.
do actual tastings.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
purchase.
Yeah, we serve flights, do curated tastings, all that kind of
Right.
that kind of fun stuff.
food pairings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes. I mean, we prefer to host pop-ups
Okay.
for food.
Yeah.
But my brother-in-law, he was a badass chef for 20 years, baker. So he does this Roman-style cold fermented pizza. So we got him a pizza oven at the farm. So he does these like pop-up pizza nights, which are just epic and super delicious. So we do some of it in-house, but just here and there.
And then distribution wise, are you like all over the country?
No, so when we set out, we wanted to be the South cidery, so we kind of focused on being in the South. So North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Virginia, and then other than that, California's and Nevada are the lone, and Washington. These are like the kind of lone exceptions. We may do a little northeastern distro later this year. We went through a horrible hurricane in Asheville.
I was wondering when and how to.
And that's how
that affected you guys and how the recovery on that is going.
I mean, that's how we're here. Is right after that happened, we were like, "Holy fuck!" We lost probably half of our income through local distribution. Yeah, and then also, our bar in downtown Asheville, we weren't open, months, and we're still not seeing the level of visitors.
Come back to Asheville, please.
Come visit Asheville.
Wait, your bar or barn?
Bar.
Yeah.
Wait, we have a tasting bar in downtown Asheville.
Okay, it's a tasting bar where people come there and it's only your stuff.
All 100 items.
Wait a minute. 500.
Nothing to see here.
We carry. My husband has a small obsession with tin fish, so we have like over 100 different tin fish, and I have an obsession with buying wine, so I carry a modest $300 bottle set or something.
Wait, and what kind of wines do you like to collect?
Champagne bubbles, pet-nats. No, it's like an all low intervention set, all natural set. But mostly just our friends that we hang out with, like at festivals and stuff, and want to support our friends.
Are we gonna pop some papa?
Pop the papa?
Or do we have something in the fridge?
I'm gonna
papa.
Stick
What's
this
in the
fridge
fridge
for a second. What is in the fridge?
What's in the fridge?
Blue velvet. It's our
Blue velvet.
newest creation.
Should I put this in the freezer?
Yeah, maybe it'll. Okay. Yeah, there was some.
Don't let me forget I put it in the freezer.
Blueberry hibiscus. Yeah, I'm the worst at that.
I know. You got to set a timer.
Well, that's how we ended up in California. Is we needed to find a way to kind of cover ourselves with all the lost revenue from Western North Carolina.
We needed to diversify quickly, and so we already had distribution here. So we were like, okay, we've been meaning to come out here and do California. We like to work with people places we want to go. And it's gorgeous here and beautiful, and everybody's so nice.
Do you want to shout out your distributor here?
Yeah, shout out to Lime. Thanks.
We work with Lime Ventures. They're mainly a beer distributor. They're the best in the business. They do. They also send beer to the rest of the country now too. They're like a beer importer as well. So.
Yeah, there was a couple younger guys that came here after you guys left yesterday, and they were really funny. They looked like they were in like their mid-20s, and they were the way they were talking about wine, you could tell like they were in it to win it. And we were talking about ciders, and I told them that you guys were here earlier, and they're like, "Oh, are they doing okay?" Because we heard like. And they thought you were someone else, a different cider place, and they're like, "Oh, I heard they got totally flooded out." And then I showed him the bottle of this, and he's like, "Oh, I love those fucking guys."
Well, thank you, whoever you are.
20-something-year-old.
Yeah, but he was talking about some floods or something.
Yeah, so one of the other local wineries in Western North Carolina was right on the river, and their building got completely destroyed. Demolished, there's just like a little sliver of their bar. So shout out to Plebe, just like still standing.
Plebe Winery, yeah.
Plebe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, a bunch of people
That's
got.
What it was.
Yeah,
they make
a bunch of people got really fucked up in that storm.
Yeah.
And even folks that didn't suffer
we thought about
physical
closing. I mean, just closing. I mean, because you think about you got COVID, and you get through that one disaster, and then you have another natural disaster, and it's like
that's kind of like the Barlow, right, in Sebastopol, where remember it got flooded out, and Dusky, Estes, Center, and John.
That was 2019. That was the week that Althea was born. It was an epic atmospheric river.
Yeah.
February 19 flooded all of like Pax and
Yeah, you got to make a decision. Is this the sign from God telling us that it's time to?
Yeah. What do they say? Like over 60% of businesses close after a
after a storm like that,
something?
that's what they say. 60%.
Wow.
In that
And
region.
we have definitely seen that in Asheville.
Right.
A lot of my favorite restaurants have closed. It's really sad, but makes room for new people to do new things. But
What's Asheville like? Like, is it like obviously college? Is there any
There's a college.
it's
kids?
not really a college town though.
But it's more like it's just old
a tourist
school.
town because we have the Biltmore, which is like the largest mansion in the U.S. or something. So that's the big tourist attraction is the Biltmore and the Appalachian, like the trails and hiking trails and.
Right.
It's in the mountains. It's like an outdoors kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
Appalachian
huge
Mountains,
art community. So, the district that got flooded the worst was called the River Arts District, and it's right there on the French Broad River.
Like Portland and Austin
just-
are sister cities. Like keep it weird,
Yeah.
Right.
Just
Yeah,
very
all the
artsy.
galleries, half of the city's galleries and showrooms are just gone.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was crazy. People, it doesn't feel real when I think back on it. We didn't even have cell service
For a while,
for weeks.
Yeah.
So, I didn't even know if my daughter was okay
emails,
for a couple of days.
No way.
Like, it's some stuff. I'm going to get emotional. Damn. It's some stuff
Right,
that's like,
we've
it's crazy.
Our floods are fires, so
Yeah.
y'all know. I mean,
we've been there, and it's
Also
okay.
very-
It's
very
safe space to
mentally-
get emotional about.
And it's crazy. And I had no idea what it was going to, you just don't know what the fuck that is like until you go through it. Like, I don't know how to even describe it to people, the uncertainty and the kind of chaos that you're living in, and then the coolest part about it though is watching a city rebuild, like truly getting to know your neighbors and seeing like who people really are. When shit gets weird, that's when you find out, who's really here for you and who's not.
Who has access to water? Who's willing to share it?
And who steps up.
And Asheville really stepped up big. I think it was amazing to see how everybody came together. And
So before we get to the Blue Velvet, which I'm excited, can you just get like, other than visiting and buying your products and other friends and neighbors' products, are there still good ways to support the recovery in Asheville and things you want to shout out there? Or is it just come visit, eat good food, drink good cider?
Right now, I think all of Western North Carolina would just like to kind of get back to business as usual.
Right.
I think is what all of us would pretty much say. I mean, I know there are people that are still unhoused. And so, there's definitely, shout out to beloved Asheville. If you have money and you want to kick it to people doing awesome work, they're the folks to give it to, because they'll, they're doing a good job taking care of people with the resources they have.
Well, beloved Asheville, we'll get that in the show
Yeah.
notes for sure. All right, tell us about Blue Velvet, and it's obviously in reference to the weird movie.
No.
Oh, you know Blue Velvet. Okay. We'll have to explain that reference later.
Dennis Hopper,
Yeah, Dennis Hopper and
Kyle MacLachlan.
Is this
Right.
David Lynch? Yeah.
Yeah.
Blue Velvet?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know the.
Yes.
I know
That's
the
not
movie.
why you named your.
No,
Okay.
this was actually a creation from Bailey, who's our
Cider
winemaker.
winemaker.
Yeah, our do everything badass.
we grow some hibiscus on our farm. Obviously, blueberries is our main fruit that we grow, and so these are organic
Obviously.
blueberries. Well, I mean, we were talking about blueberries earlier. So
I know we were talking about it, but that's like the okay.
yeah,
We have
we're
a
blueberry
U-pick.
farm. Yeah,
We
It's
do a
Cedar Grove
U-pick blueberry
farm. Yeah,
And people
some
come and pick blueberries.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's just about 4.5 acres or something. It's not
Big enough to
but
keep
big enough.
busy.
Yeah, and
What-
they're over 30 years old, so they're 10 feet tall. They're
They're
Oh,
massive.
whoa.
yeah, and they're big and juicy. So they make really
yeah.
good.
Tall, so people do you
They're
have to get up on
16
ladders
feet tall.
to
If you want to get the stuff that's
yeah.
like teasing you in the sky,
The good
Yeah.
stuff.
yeah, you
Up
gotta
there, get
yeah.
some of those
I mean, it's the
sunshine.
right. Yeah, it's the best fruit. You do have to get on a ladder. I mean, blueberry bushes are very tolerable to being moved, so you can just pull branches down and bend the branches and get access to them. But you need like a little pole with a hook or something, or just to be tall. Helps to be tall.
And what is the season
I'm
for
out.
blueberries?
I was gonna say, what is
For us, we have late season varieties, so we're rocking. This year will be the earliest
June.
harvest ever, I think, just because of it's been
Mid-June.
warm.
Yeah, to early August.
Yeah.
And then they all get picked, and then basically they just sit there the rest of the year and
Yeah.
soak up.
Look pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have to prune a third of a blueberry bush every year, so we prune a lot. It's a lot.
Just to
Of
keep it in
content.
check. To
Yeah, the variety that we grow, they're rabbit eye, and so they'll grow 50 canes if you let them. So I mean, they'll literally just turn
And they're
into a
older, so they'll
never-ending.
just be healthier. They'll be easier to pick.
Right.
You know.
right.
And does like grapes, does new fruit only grow on new growth with blueberries?
Yeah, last year's
growth.
Yeah, same deal.
Okay. So sorry. So yeah, this so blue velvet. So this is blueberry juice.
Blueberries, whole blueberry. So blueberries frozen, just
Yeah.
to bust
Co-fermented
the
with
cell
the
structure.
cider,
Oh.
and then
Whoa.
surface area.
Carbonic
Carbonic
blueberry.
frozen carbonic blueberry. Not
Yeah.
something thought you were gonna talk about on Monday morning, was it, Brian?
No, hell no. And then I thought it was
Good
like
breakfast wine.
Yeah, always.
yeah, I thought it was
Like-
rose. I didn't know it was hibiscus. It has like that.
It has
very,
that like Jamaica,
yeah.
It's
I mean, isn't Jamaica?
I didn't say it right.
Aren't they the same?
It's
thing?
hibiscus. Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
I thought so.
With, I mean, that's what basically this is with just a
It kinda
natural,
gives it that, like,
a natural
tea-like
sugar.
quality,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
hibiscus tea. You know, it's that basically
Yeah.
we make a lot of teas, and so I believe that's.
And
You
it's-
you
this is
make
good
a lot
for your
of
blood
teas.
pressure now too. We can
I
make
mean,
more
for the ciders. It's
health
like-
claims because of the hibiscus.
My sister always, I know this, it's fresh in my mind because we host a farm tour, like a regional farm tour, and we do, I don't know how many dozens of farm walks for over 2 days. And my sister always tells people, this is her favorite thing about blueberries, is that the leaves have more of the antioxidant properties in the fruit itself.
Oh, interesting.
And so she makes a tea. We do it with local herbalist tea maker called Poppy Sol. And so we make a blueberry leaf tea, and you pick the leaves when they're bright red, because that's when the properties for those
Right.
antioxidants is highest.
Polyphenols or some
Yeah.
shit is the highest.
Yeah.
What is that, pre-harvest or post-harvest?
Post.
Okay,
So like in fall.
like when they're turning colors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Interesting.
you can pick them, dry them, and then you want to blend them with something else because they don't taste great
Right.
just on their own.
We made a cider
but little blueberry
whole bush,
drop.
which was the leaves, the blueberries, and some
Wait,
of the
what was
blueberry
it
wood.
We called it the whole bush. Oh, I wish we had a bottle of that right now.
Oh, yeah,
It's
like
a
this naked lady with a little bush.
just with a
right
little like
there.
blueberry leaves over,
Amazing
over the
what you can
goodies.
get past the TTV.
Yeah. Well, it was 4 revisions.
Okay.
They were like, "Can you add another leaf?"
You're like, oh, sure. where
Where
would
we
you
go?
like it?
Yes.
Here.
Yes.
Make
Yeah.
her younger.
Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite concepts we've ever done was, the entire bush. So wood chip,
Right.
leaf, fruit, co-ferment
Whole animal
with cider.
fermentation.
Yeah, whole animal. That's right. I love that.
So like a little bottle like this is what, $3.75?
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. So how much would this cost if I bought it off the shelf in your?
13 or 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking delicious.
It's really delicious.
What a deal.
And totally like unexpected flavors.
Yeah. I know. So when you guys started, what was the plan for like how you're gonna sell all this stuff, and then how has it gone, and how many people are like in your club, and how many people are just people that are popping in and?
It fluctuates. I think we have about like 150 in our club or something. Our wine
Yeah.
club is the newest club, so that's the one that we're trying to like build up. We have like less than 20 people in our wine club, but we make very little wine.
You get
so-
the Winemakers podcast bump.
Yeah.
We'll get a couple more on there.
Let's go.
There's a couple people out there who'll just buy some stuff because we said so.
Defy.
I don't know
When we started-
because in defiance.
When we started, we thought we would make 500 gallons a year, and we would just be open on Saturday
And we
afternoons.
only made still cider.
Yeah, it was
Still
still
cork
bone
cider.
dry cork cider, and we thought we would sell all of it pretty much off of the farm. We would just be open, especially
Paint a-
in
paint
First
a-
you pick. Yeah.
Right.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
paint a
during
piece of
season.
plywood, put a sign out on the road, and
I mean, that's kind of what it looked like in the beginning. No lie.
And I was like, damn.
Doesn't
this
look
is
that different
good.
now.
I think that much, it was reclaimed wood. It wasn't. It was recycled. It wasn't fresh plywood. These guys have more style than that, I'm guessing.
We make our tap handles out of blueberry wood. They're pretty
Oh, really?
sexy. Yeah, we sand them, polish them. They're nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's free.
It is.
Exactly.
It is free.
You have to
A little work.
prune a third of it every year.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Might as well do
Exactly.
something with it.
You know.
Whole animal cidery.
But
No, I just-
our backgrounds both being in distribution in North Carolina, some friends kind of stepped up and just did us solid and gave us some placements at some restaurants or bottle
we had
shops.
a lot of
and-
relationships, and they were like, so they were willing to like give us a try since
Yeah.
they, and then and it was really just took off because nobody was making dry cider, and I think it's something it was just that people really wanted, and so
Yeah.
people got really excited about it, and we still make some still ciders.
Mm-hmm.
We make oxidative ciders. We make, you name it. We've probably made it.
But we
One of
didn't come in.
500.
We didn't come in this, thinking we were going to get big. We didn't come in really having any idea if anybody even wanted to drink what we were going to produce. We knew we wanted it and wanted to drink it. Beyond that,
And we're small. We make
You
less
know.
than 20,000 gallons. I mean, that's considered a very small
Right.
cidery.
It's enough
Um,
to get you in trouble.
yeah.
These would be so fun though to play around with on restaurant menus for pairings.
Totally. You can come with all kinds of flavors.
Yeah.
All right, should I go see if that papa hasn't been
Yeah,
there?
yeah.
yeah, let's go,
Pawpaw.
Pawpaw.
Pop the papa.
Pop, yeah, that's pop.
Yeah, cider is really, I think, one of the most fun, diverse pairings for food because you can pair them with so many different things and things that are like you can do parallel pairings and opposite,
Yeah.
but you can have a lot of fun, and it's not, just with dessert. To me, I mean, Thanksgiving and cider, apple only cider is just like
Oh, it sounds amazing.
the way to go.
Yeah, for me, Grenache Blanc with fennel and apple is like one of my. I mean, it rivals Banyuls and chocolate and Chateau de Chem and blue cheese. I mean, it's like
Yeah.
just something in your brain turns on when you have those flavors together.
Cider and fried chicken for me.
Oh, and is that what you guys were doing yesterday?
Oh yeah.
We did that fried chicken cider pop up at
Yeah.
I mean-
Pomme Cider Shop.
Who
yeah.
was making the food?
It's Chef Seth. It's Harvest
He's from North Carolina, so it
Yeah.
was kind of a match made in heaven.
He
He's
was
from
serving-
Charlotte, North Carolina.
with Winston-Salem sauce is what he had on the menu yesterday. It's Harvest. I got to look it up.
It wasn't Harvest Moon.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, that's awesome.
Right?
You know him?
So
It's Harvest. Yeah, I swear it was Harvest Moon. Harvest Moon Fine Foods.
okay, yeah. So I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it's the same people.
Yeah, this homie.
Chef Seth, yeah.
Hold on. I don't have my glasses on.
The fried chicken was awesome.
I'm looking to see a picture of Seth. There was a restaurant here called Harvest Moon, but then they that's where Valley is now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we had dinner at Valley last night.
Yeah,
It was
no, that's
amazing.
not them. Oh, good. What did you guys drink?
Well,
So
we
much.
drank all the things with you yesterday. We,
Right.
we drank vermouth actually.
Oh,
That's
at Valley?
awesome.
But yeah, they had a couple. If
Yeah.
I was drinking, we were really not drinking much because we were just trying to eat at that point in the day. But they had a collab with Son of Man I saw on their menu, and they had another. What was the other cider collab they had on there? I think they had two, which I was really excited to see them representing some cool dry cider.
Yeah.
Maybe they had. Did they have like Tilted Shed or something California? I think probably.
Yeah.
Maybe was it Santa Cruz?
I don't.
He doesn't.
I had been
remember. He
overserved,
passed out in
so
the
I'm
lawn
not. I'm not certain.
Definitely overserved.
chair. Oh, very fancy.
It wasn't quite cold enough.
Okay.
So I found some random things and ice.
That's the beautiful thing about the fruit wine. I don't. It doesn't even need to be.
Doesn't need to be that
so
cold?
Yeah,
Okay.
no. You can. I like it some room temperature. It'll just show more pawpaw flavor. This is also. We make 3 different pawpaw renditions. So this is pawpaw jasmine. So this is
Did we mention we do 13 different muscadines?
13 different variations of muscadine ciders and wines. Pink is a feeling. Grapes have feelings. Muscadine state of mind. Muscadine carbonic. Muscadine pet-nat. Muscadine
And how?
raspberry muscadine.
Yeah, there's a couple more.
So we do a straight pawpaw cider, which is out of stock right now, but it's actually getting released this week. And then we have, this is the Pawpaw Jasmine, which has lots more kind of
Ooh.
Asian tropical flavors.
I know this smells like Hawaii to me.
Yeah.
This is one of those ones where what's that saying? The sum is
Greater
Greater
than the
that
parts. That one.
I never say it right.
Nailed it.
And then we make a Pawpaw Ginger Vanilla, which is like a wintertime Pawpaw release.
For warming and
Yeah.
What the hell? It smells like Kauai. Or it's part where you're driving over you're driving on roads where fruit is falling off the trees, so you're running them over, and it's that smell. It's
the combination of like the freshest to the fermentedest.
yeah, it'll pop in my head in a minute of what exactly kind of fruit I'm talking about.
It's like star fruit and shit like that.
I think it's like passion fruit.
I think that's what it
Is
is.
the
Yeah,
vibe
the
I get.
jasmine tea brings out a lot more of the passion fruit
yeah.
flavors.
It does smell like passion fruit.
Yeah, it's
It's the road to
somehow
Hana.
Pawpaw and Jasmine click that in. This is something we did with Zach from Dahlia Sophia, which is a kombucha company. So we first did this as a collaboration, and then we've just kept making it. This is probably the 6th, 7th year we've made this cider.
I think this is my favorite rendition of the Pawpaws. I mean, just the plain Pawpaw is
It's
delicious
delicious.
too. But,
Yeah,
So are you using jasmine tea or are you using flower? Okay.
yeah, jasmine tea.
Interesting. That's the sort of kombucha crossover there with.
Yeah, he was
Tea
doing
fermented.
something with jasmine tea in one of his kombuchas, and I don't know. I knew him from
we just like collabs. It
Yeah.
was just fun to like
It's just
talk
fun
about
to
each
do.
other's cross promote.
Cool.
Yeah.
Totally. We're
Kombucha.
fans.
Yeah. I know you guys aren't bottling in
Yeah,
house.
let's know. When are we
You
going to
guys
talk about our collab?
yeah. No, everything's in house.
Should probably take it off here.
Okay, I was gonna say with all these different like bottle shapes and all these different SKUs, if you're calling a bottling van every time you're doing this stuff,
We have one mobile canner come in and help with bigger runs of cans, but everything's done in house. And we're strange. We don't own a forklifts. We have this rule, like if we can't fix it, we don't want to own
We
it.
have an all-women winemaking
So
team. His sister Heather, Bailey, Caitlin. And they just, they lift them barrels.
Yeah, we're very low tech. I mean, even our in-house canning is semi-auto, so it's all very easily
One where you,
replaceable parts.
Spin the top on and then you hand it to the next
Not
one, right?
that bad.
Okay.
It's a 2-head.
Okay.
And then the machine does do the work, but you do have to move it from
One spot to the next spot.
one spot. Yeah, human robot.
Human robot.
Yeah, for that
Wooden
piece.
robot. Is that something you said earlier?
Yeah, it's a
Yes,
brewery
it's
in Charlotte.
yeah.
It's a good name.
It's a great name. Yeah.
I know. Can we do a collab, Sam?
Sure. Papa Semyon.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
There's actually someone, I think it's Commonwealth Crush or somebody's doing a Pawpaw wine in Virginia.
Yeah, Jade
Right now.
did one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sade from ABV Ferments.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, did a
Anything but
pawpaw.
Vinifera. Have you heard of that festival?
No, but we get in trouble when we talk about stuff like that, Brian.
Uh-oh, he's
We tried to do something about a month ago and got in some trouble. So
we weren't seeking that trouble, to be honest.
sounds like fun. Sometimes stuff sounds like fun, and then you just go ahead and do it, and then some other people rain on your parade.
Have y'all ever done co-fermentation
Any
with
fruit?
non?
Fruit grape,
Grape?
stuff?
No.
No.
I mean, where we make a bunch of our wine, there's definitely been some fruit co-fermentations, but
Tony, he likes cider.
and Tony's done a few of them, and he's done some prickly pear things. I think he's done a bunch of stuff up there, but we played a little more by the book. Get in trouble other ways.
Did you guys
Who
get
are
to
we getting
meet
in trouble with?
Jack yesterday?
No.
Jack wasn't at Dose Bar when you guys went there?
No.
Okay.
He'd already left, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, because yesterday his some release he was doing.
No, I just told him they should go to Dose Bar
Okay.
and just go see if Jack was
Definitely.
around. 'Cause that's Jake.
Zeke.
The,
Some red
Zeke.
pepper.
Zeke the dog.
He's
He's got a
limping.
funny gait.
He's been like
Yeah.
that since we've known him.
Yeah, he's got an interesting
He's
gait.
the painter's dog. He doesn't let that bum leg slow him down. I tell you.
he runs way
It's like he's,
faster
like,
than he walks.
Skipping or something.
It's like you don't notice that he's got a little limp when he gets going.
Hitching his giddy up.
Yeah. Shit, I wish you guys lived by my house.
Well, maybe you're gonna have to join the club.
Come visit anytime.
You ship to California?
Yeah.
We do,
Yes,
yeah.
we do. Okay.
Yeah, we can always
And you're distributing
always
in
do
California.
tradesies. Yeah.
Okay.
She really liked the Semillon, the collab with Fresco.
The blue label or the swim contact?
Blue label.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we didn't
yeah.
even try this.
And they had that at Dove's Bar too, like yesterday.
Yeah.
The swim contact
Mm-hmm.
or the blue
Blue-
label?
The
blue label.
label.
Blue
The
label.
collab, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Purple, blue.
Purple blue.
We tried.
It was-
I think we
it
bought
was-
something from
It's purple, but we
Fresco
call it the
that
blue
Lyndon
label.
then
Yeah.
dropped
I did
On
drop
the
a bottle
street.
in the street yesterday.
by accident.
Didn't have our logo on it, did it?
No, I don't think so.
Don't even know which
It
bottle
some-
was dropped.
I think it was some Semillon orange-ish wine or something. I don't know. From Fresco.
Well, we'll get you in touch with Jack. We'll
Fuego.
replace it.
Yeah, a little
The Fire Fuego.
Yeah,
Does that sound
maybe,
familiar?
Yeah, maybe it was
Okay.
that. Yeah, that does sound familiar.
No,
Oh, no, we
that-
tried a lot of
no,
things
the Fire
yesterday.
Fuego was what Rick bought, and we were going to drink it later, but you had overserved yourself, so we had
yeah.
to go to bed. Go night night.
You're holding it together today. We would have
I
had
feel
no,
great
I
today.
had no idea.
I feel great.
Drink a bunch of natural things. Less hungover, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
This is not endorsed
That's
by
what
any medical
sold me.
professionals.
Oh,
That's what sold
resveratrol.
me.
Yeah.
I even woke up at 5:30 this morning.
Because it's our time is like
Yeah, you
3
Yeah.
hours.
slept in.
Big time. Wow.
Yeah, what are you guys doing? So you're headed to San Fran, Oakland, Berkeley?
Yeah, we're gonna check out some spots in San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley, and then we're gonna cruise down to Santa
Santa
Cruz
Cruz.
for an event at Lupolo Tuesday night
With,
with
Tanuki
Tanuki, with Robbie and Nicole from Santa Cruz Cider. We're doing like a little 3-part
Cool.
tasting.
East meets West.
That's right. And then we're going to Santa Barbara and doing an event Wednesday night at Llama Dog, and then we'll finish up in LA, in Venice Beach. I think we're doing an event somewhere around there.
Yeah, I don't know how to say the name of the store.
Yeah, I don't want to butcher it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it'll come out. The show will come out after you've been there anyway. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
go
It's-
check it out later.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, just doing
Follow along.
doing a couple
Find
of
us.
Botanist on Instagram. You'll know where they were.
Yeah.
Find us at the Pomme shop in Sonoma.
Right. Yeah. Last night. Are you? Although for real, are you carried at the Pomme shop? Or
Yeah,
are they gonna
yeah.
have you?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Cool.
they're huge
Yeah.
supporters of us, so they usually have a really great selection of our stuff. So
hmm
in Sonoma.
Cool.
Yeah, because how does this stuff ship? Like, can you get everything you guys make shipped?
Yeah, pretty much.
Here?
Yeah.
If you want to hop on the
Or
website
if
and
join
you
the
can
club, if
scroll
it's, like,
for
really
a
small,
while.
maybe some stuff's club only.
Sure.
I think
give
there's
us
like
the-
100.
Give us the web address.
Well,
Right.
if you just go to
I can read it.
botanistandbarrel.com,
Okay.
and then we use Vino Shipper like so many to handle the shipping part.
Cool.
But,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. And do you do we can do like a little like sampler pack?
Oh yeah,
all
yeah.
kinds of
Actually,
different
I
stuff?
make the Pomme pack. I'm a certified Pommelier, so I have like my favorites.
Pommelier.
My
It's a-
12
it's a
different,
thing.
Like, little half
Is that
bottles.
really the
It's-
word for this?
She was
Yes, yeah.
number 8.
I thought it was
Cor-
like number 4.
According to
You're
who?
number 8.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute.
The
who's
Guild of
certified?
Pommeliers.
The American Cider Association.
Okay.
But now it's also in conjunction with some other associations as well. So they have like a level 1, and then they have level. I think there's
You're
a
a
2.
level 1,
I'm a
babe.
level. I know.
Yeah.
I got a pen and everything.
Is it an apple? Is the pin an apple?
I'm sure
Did
it
they,
think it
is.
is.
Did they
It
miss?
is
Okay,
definitely
I'm glad
an
they didn't
apple.
miss that
Yeah.
opportunity.
I'm sure it is.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, she was the number 8 Pommelier, which is a real challenge of a test. I mean,
Especially when I did it because it was like the first year of
And
the
they
test.
wanted to make it really
and they
hard.
were trying to
super hard.
really. It was hard. Yeah, it was a lot of. I mean, it's a blind tasting. I mean, can you imagine blind tasting a bunch of different ciders and perries and like throw in like pineapple from Ace. Like, what?
Right.
What is that?
Yeah, in wine, there are untestable wines when you do these tests. Like, there has to be some sort of standard, but maybe we just on test number 1, they hadn't gotten to what was testable or not, so they threw it all at you.
Now I'm on the. I've helped standardize it a little bit more, and now it's great. It's a solid
Certified Pomme.
test.
But she does
Our
the
first-
Pomme, the Pomme pack basically.
Episode 300 and whatever, our first Pommelier. Have we had a Cicerone?
A what?
A beer
beer
sommelier.
person.
Oh. No.
No Cicerones. We have had a tequila, mezcalere.
Mescalere.
A mezcal.
That's what I'm going for next.
The mezcals.
Oh, yeah. Luna.
Right.
Yeah.
But first Pommelier.
Yeah.
It's fun to say. It's more fun than sommelier.
It is.
Yeah.
And
You
it
think
doesn't
so?
sound as pretentious.
Somehow, right.
Like I say,
The-
I'm a palm som. Yeah.
Palm Psalm.
Yeah.
All right. That's the next movie. Palm Psalm. Psalm 14. Palm Psalm.
Thank you guys for coming back.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you for
thanks
having us.
us.
Yeah, it was great. We had a great time at your winery yesterday. You guys are making
Yeah.
some beautiful stuff.
Thank you.
So
Good tunes, good art.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank
Good
Amy
vibes.
Best for sending us and connecting with you
Yeah.
guys.
Big shout out to Amy Best Cook. You're the best. Come back and visit sometime.
Yeah. And like seriously, I mean, I drink mostly wine and I guess
Mezcal.
mezcal. But I love all the different flavors
Yeah.
of everything you guys make.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Give one more time. Shout out your social media and website and all that.
Botanist and Barrel on socials. Botanistandbarrel.com. Defy Wine on socials. And if you want to nerd out on muscadines, it's Muscadine State of Mind.
Muscadine State of Mind.
Muscadine State of Mind.
And come see us in Asheville or Central North Carolina in Cedar Grove.
All right. Big love to Asheville. What was the
Beloved Asheville.
beloved Asheville?
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are the folks.
Doing good work. Yeah.
Brian, do we have shout outs?
When are we?
We're somewhere. We're close.
Red, white, and rosé,
Red, white, and rosé.
right? Probably good.
July.
Probably good to talk
July
about.
6th, 7th, 6th, Sunday. The Sunday after 4th of July. I think it's the 6th.
It's the 6th. It's a Sunday. Hattie Craven.
Yep.
I'm going to be playing here, and we're going to be pouring a lot of different rosés.
Debuting a bunch of rosé things that you maybe have only seen hints at on social media will be poured in the tasting house for the first time.
Right. I mean, let's talk about it all.
Okay.
Stanley Mouse
Has been
Appreciation
bumped.
Day has been moved because Dead & Co decided they were going to come play Golden Gate
Stepped on
Park, which
us.
is insane that they're saying there's going to be 150,000 people every day, each
Holy
day.
fuck. All right.
It's fucking mayhem.
I mean, it's giant.
yeah.
But there's also rumors that it might also be sort of like festival style. So there'll be maybe a regular headline 2-set Dead & Company show, but other bands within the... But again,
No
none
one
of
knows how they can get tickets. Everyone's kind of
right.
wondering how to get tickets. It got announced and there's no way to buy tickets. So everyone's wondering, like, this is all like miracle tickets or this is all like...
I need a miracle.
Yeah. I have no idea how this is all happening. But we had to change our event.
So that'll be the August 10th
Now
now.
the 10th, Stanley
Instead of
Mouse
August
Appreciation
3rd.
Day, which will be the Rowan Brothers.
Right. Assuming they can handle the move of the date. We haven't talked to the Rowan's yet. We're
Or
gonna reach
they're
out. Warren,
fully
if you're listening.
recovered.
There's birds flying.
No, those are not birds. That is pieces of plastic or... Yeah.
This segment brought to you by ADHD.
Yeah.
Shiny objects in the sky. What's
Totally.
going on?
They
Um,
are shiny. It's not paper. They're
No,
shiny.
no.
Yeah.
Like plastic water bottles almost.
That's what it looks like. Wish I could get video of this. to
Microplastics.
post on
There we
the,
go.
Drink
yeah.
more muscadine.
Oh my god.
Less plastic, more muscadine.
International Grenache Day will be somewhere in there, and then October is really the big party, which is, out at the barn. 60th harvest for Phil Couturi, 20th anniversary of 16600, and then 10th anniversary of you guys being here
The tasting house.
at the tasting house. And I don't know if you saw my email the other day, but we have an opportunity to book someone.
Yeah.
If we want to do it. I don't know if you want to do it.
The lineup's going to be lit. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
Some still things to narrow to hammer out, but me and my buddy Benji Eisen, who's managing Reed Mathis, it'll be a Reed Mathis based Beatles. They're basically going to do Abbey Road as the Abbey Roads is the name of the band, but they're going to like jam out improvisational Abbey Road with the super group like list of all stars, and then maybe some crazy openers too. So. Yeah, October 10th. I think you can buy tickets on the website.
You can.
Yeah.
And I would buy them now because once we book these bands, we're going to jack the price. If you looked at the lineup, you'd be like, holy shit, you guys are doing your own mini Coachella? No, we're just having a party.
Having a good party.
Without hats.
Coturicella.
Without the sundresses and hats.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, there might be some sundresses and hats. And then... DTC Symposium dates are dropping soon. I think the website goes live on June 2nd, according to Barbara. And she asked when our June 6th show would drop, and I said, I have no idea. So we'll just start talking about it now.
Yeah, DTC.
DTC Wine Symposium, Monterey,
Again
California.
in Monterey?
In Monterey, January 2026.
That's cool. I like that spot.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know.
Subscribe.
Oh, we do. You know what? We got to start talking about our dinner at Madcap, but we'll do that on the next show. We're going to do an epic dinner at Madcap Restaurant in Marin. And I'm going to try and do everything at a large format.
Okay. And let's give Bart some love. Go hang out with him at the Tank. He's been there almost every weekend going, looks like. And he's got the Chef Cycle thing. It's happening soon.
Yeah,
I think you can still donate even if the ride is over, though. So go donate to Bart's Chef Cycle team.
Yeah.
He's got a bunch of new releases. I don't know if any of them are left. I saw people pouring the rosé at Stella last night.
And last night I was doing the Wake Up Sonoma event at the Cheese Factory, and he must have had 4 or 5 different wines on the shelf there. So,
all right, well, go buy Bart's wine while it's still up.
Carignan is bomb.
Yeah.
All right,
subscribe, review, tell your friends, only the cool ones, and drink more muscadine.
No shit. Right?
Muscadine.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.